Thakur derived his sources of knowledge. Anyone that knows a little bit about scholarship, it's the responsibility of the scholar to indicate the sources of their knowledge. I already mentioned some, the writings of Jiva Goswami, the writings of Jiva Goswami, Professor Acharyas in our line. In addition, a very strong source of, specifically for these songs, source of knowledge for him was Jamunacharya. He was the spiritual master of Ramanujacharya, and one of the writings of Jamunacharya was Stotra Ratna, prayers or verses. And songs of Sharanagati, in many ways, mirror or they're derived from that source. He just took from these very, very elevated Vaishnavas and the scriptures, put those teachings in current language that people of his time could easily access. And these songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur, there's two main song books. This is one, the Sharanagati. And Prabhupada personally loved them very much. There's a lot to say about that. Have any of you read the biography of Mother Jamuna's life? Some of you have read. If you haven't, and you're looking for some nice reading for the summer, for yourself or for your children, highly recommended. It's in 2 volumes, and just 2 little things. She, I heard from her personally about her association with Prabhupada, and her association with Prabhupada had a lot to do with music, because she was highly devoted and highly qualified in music. So one time, she described this to me, it's in this biography. There was a Pandal program somewhere, and the devotees that were part of the Pandal program, the support team, were staying in really, really simple residences. And Prabhupada's practice was he was up, before everybody was up. So she knew that that was Prabhupada's program, and so she went into this, you picture in your mind this really sterile assembly hall in India where the walls are 6 foot thick and there's no windows and it's really stuffy. Early in the morning, long rectangular little oval construction. So she came out very early. Prabhupada was already up. She quietly opened the door, saw Prabhupada at the other end of the room, quietly paid her obeisances, sat down, and started chanting japa as Prabhupada was chanting japa at the other end of the room. And she was feeling how fortunate to be with a pure devotee of the Lord, chanting the holy name together. Like a mouse, disturbing Prabhupada. Prabhupada stopped his chanting, looked up, and heard her chanting, and said, "Who is it?" And Jamuna said, "It's me, Prabhupada." He said, "Come over." And some dialogue, he said, "You can stay and chant." And And either during, I can't recall, either during that first exchange or some of the subsequent mornings, Prabhupada asked her a question. No, she boldly asked Prabhupada, what is your favorite bhajan? And Prabhupada said what his favorite bhajan was. And then Prabhupada asked her, what's your favorite? And she asked why, because I want to learn it and sing it and think of you as I'm singing. And then he asked her, what is your favorite bhajan? I'd like to sing it, so that when I'm singing it, I'm thinking of you. And your devotion. So she developed a great taste for Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajans. I once visited Sharanagati, the farm. We're way up in the Rocky Mountains in Canada. It's still there. Sharanagati is the farm, the name of the farm. During that time, we were having a Japa retreat during the summer. And there were at that time something like 5 teenage girls, and she was teaching them bhajan from beginning, the same one that we're singing, beginning to end, and entering into the mood of the bhajan in this intensely devotional, sweetly devotional mood of Jamuna. Must have been an amazing experience for those teenage girls to learn from Jamuna, her heart and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajans. Because it's the ways of surrender that she was teaching them, that she had placed in her heart and was giving to them, as in the little way we're attempting to do in one day. My experience, one of my experiences with Prabhupada is, in fact, it was part of his lifelike breathing, his singing bhajans. It wasn't something that he, was preferable. Every evening, at least the week that he stayed in New York, and I was responsible for overseeing the security of Prabhupada's quarters when he was there. At around 8:30 at night or so, everything would stop. He went into another room where his harmonium was, singing. And he wasn't singing like to chill out. He was singing, his heart was going to, as we heard in the songs before, Nanda Kumar, to Krishna. In the mode of Narottam Das Thakur, the mode of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, pouring his heart to the Lord. And then he would turn out the light and go take rest. That was how he ended his day. They're very meaningful for our founder Acharya. They're very, very meaningful for Bhaktivinoda Thakur to teach the world the ways of accepting from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the proper mode of surrender, the mode of surrender and the how to, the why and the how. And so, very important. And this is all to help us in our chanting of the Holy Name, accepting the Holy Name specifically for tomorrow. And then thereafter, of course. But I'll mention this a few times. The 64 round day is tomorrow. Probably some of you have chanted 64 rounds. Probably many of you have not. Many of you, or if not most of you, will. And there's some people, I think, online who will come tomorrow and join us, and they will also. And there are, within these songs, that if you recall, if you hear nicely, and recall the messages, it will be support for you for tomorrow and your journey going forward. want to tell a story and looking at the clock and thinking, should I tell the story? Because I didn't want to cover it. I haven't started. It has to do with the 64 round day tomorrow, and it has to do with how we can go further in our relationship with Krishna by the process of hearing. So hearing today and applying tomorrow, and then going forward in time. So I just came across this really wonderful reference in relation to Srimad Bhagavatam, but it applies to any teachings that you hear, or like what we're doing, the ways of surrender, regaining or restoring our original position of shelter with Krishna. And it has to do with the qualitative way that we hear. In other words, these gates, that the entryways into the position of full surrender to Krishna, gate after gate, and further and further and further, layers and levels and depths of taking shelter. So the reference is from Padma Purana. As with many of the Puranas, the Padma Purana also has a section dedicated to glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. Amongst all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is regarded as super excellent, the emperor amongst kings. They pay tribute to the emperor, although they're kings. And Srimad Bhagavatam is that. So in this Bhagavat Mahatmya section of Padma Purana, just a shortened version of a long section, is there's a Brahmana, Atmadev. And he has a Brahmani wife. Remember her name? Something. She has a name. And there's a long description that precedes it, but they have an adopted son, and they have the son of the Brahmani's sister. And the son of the Brahmani's sister is a little strange. More than strange. He's, it describes in his previous life he was a mystic. And so he would do things like when he would play with children and throw the children into the Ganges and they would drown. And the father was too disturbed, so he sent his son away. Then he found out that his son was able to bring those children that died back to life again, because he was a mystic. Then he felt very badly that he had sent him away. His son, because of wicked activities, died. And the ghost began to haunt the village. And the adopted son was a qualified young boy, and he felt badly for his stepbrother. So he, in honor of his departed brother, who's now a ghost haunting the village, he set out to narrate Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days, as Bhagavatam was narrated in 7 days. At the end of the 7th day, when the Bhagavatam narration was finished, this ghost personality, stepbrother, appeared in a embodied feature. And he appeared like a representative of the spiritual world, with the darkest complexion, special ornaments and attire, like Vaikuntha. And this young stepbrother, now ready to go back to Godhead, came before his brother and falling at his feet and praising him again and again and again, was appreciating Srimad Bhagavatam and had delivered him from that ghost condition. And as they were undergoing this exchange in front of everybody, Vaikuntha Vimana descended. And the agents of Hari, the narration describes in Padma Purana, they approached this now Vaikuntha destined, previously was a ghost and prior to that was very wicked. And they're inviting him to come with them back to Godhead, back to Vaikuntha. So the narrator of the Bhagavatam, Gokarna, says, wait a minute, I have a question. Everyone here in the whole assembly heard the same narration. And this fellow, my stepbrother, is going back to Godhead. Why not the rest of everybody that heard the same message? And then the agents of Lord Vishnu said, it has to do with the quality of hearing. Think of the connection between now and tomorrow. They said, although he was in a ghost body, every night after hearing, he would do his puja. It doesn't say how he did it in a ghost body, but he did his puja, and while doing his puja at night, he was remembering, recalling the words that he heard during the day and having them enter into his mind and enter into his heart and considering how to apply them. And then they went on to many other verses indicating how, in short, without the detail, how it's important to apply what we hear. How it's important to hear with great faith. And when you hear with great faith, then there's the opportunity to hear properly instead of improperly, and hear in full instead of partially. And then let it enter your heart and apply it. Because knowledge that's not applied, you lose it. Many other nice teachings, and they indicated there are 4 particular features that help the hearing process. One of them is his faith in the person who is narrating, and of course the subject matter of the narration itself, just like Srimad Bhagavatam. He had faith in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's somebody's phone. It's a phone in the Pujari room. Faith in the speaker, the words of the speaker, and the subject matter of the speaker. Curbing or controlling the doshas of the mind. Rapt attention in carefully hearing the message so that it goes in. Can't remember the other one, exactly number 2. In any case, hopefully, in the course of the time spent together, some of these messages will, and it's good to take notes. Maybe when we're done and this Namayaga begins, take some notes and then meditate on them. And then before you take rest in the evening, you see which of those resources may be helpful and supportive for you for tomorrow, so that there's some spiritual support while you're trying to carry out your 64 rounds. Because it's an ocean of opportunity, at the same time feeling that the connection with Krishna is precious. So, the morning session I spoke about, this afternoon session will speak on 3 verses. The morning session was on the first section, or the introductory song in Day-2, humility. 7 songs in the Day-2 section, we covered 2. And naturally following Day-2, or humility, the fruit of the tree of humility as it grows and bears fruit, it comes in the form of dedication of oneself to Krishna. That was the Friday evening verse, the dedication, Uddhava's dedication of himself, the soul, the real self, to the lotus feet of Krishna. So we're going to sing one of those songs. There's 8 in this section. 7 in Day-2, 8 in the next section, and then 4 each of the next 4. And follow them and you'll see, it's just Lochitan's teachings in the form of a song. And the teachings of the Bhagavatam in the form of a song. And Yamunacharya's teachings in the form of a song. He's just taking it, has to follow a simplifier processor, and it comes out in the form of a nice song. It's distant succession information or understandings in very palatable form. The one that we'll sing, Manasa Deha Geha, it's a song that somehow has become popular in this time. Manasa Deha Geha. Manasa, the mind. Deha, the body. Geha, home. And everything else. But so this is in the category of mind. There's I, and there's mind. And they're connected. If I think I am this body, then what is mine? It's what's connected to the body. My work, and the fruits of my work, and my home, my family. Mine is connected to the sense of I. If I come to the sense of I am spirit soul, then what do you do with all those things that previously you were thinking in their mind? You dedicate them to Krishna. Atma-nivedana. Dedication of self, that's the Atma, and mind. So this is from the Atma-nivedana section, we can together. This is the section is Atma-Nivedana, following the recognition of the misfortune of misuse of free will and all the circumstances surrounding a complex life, wanting again to take shelter. So then the fruit of that humility is submitting oneself to the personality of Godhead, Nandakishwara. So this is the category of mind, body, family, and whatever else may be mind. And mine are now at your lotus feet. If you remember, as part of the, I'm purposely repeating, part of the theme from the first evening is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That is to say, the mode of service, the mode of humble service, the humble mode of service at the feet of the personality of Godhead, at the feet of those who are dear to him, because that's what's at the feet of the personality of Godhead is his surrendered devotees, loving devotees, they're at his feet. So They're our shelter. And at the lotus feet of the Lord, I'm surrendering everything. Next. Without condition, good fortune and bad, sounds like a marriage vow. In life or in death, and all my difficulties have disappeared by accepting those lotus feet of yours as my only shelter. Now, disappeared doesn't mean you don't have to go to work tomorrow or Monday, or take your exams if exams are coming up, or doesn't get caught in Phoenix. The externals don't change, and the duties of life don't change, but seeing them as miseries needing to be managed changes. Because it's now, the position is different. You're not on your own, you're in a position of shelter, and therefore you're serving the one whom you're taking shelter of. Charge of you and yours, including your concerns. He doesn't become your doormat. He's a doormat, but he's charge of the life of the devotee. Next. Slay me or protect me as you wish. This principle of protection is our next song. It's connected from the position of surrender, of self. Slay me or protect me as you wish, for you have full authority over your eternal servant. It's a very important notion. The notion of protection, we'll discuss it some more. But when one submits, Jiva Goswami explains like this. when you surrender to Krishna, his property. When you're not surrendered to Krishna, you're not thinking that way. You're thinking independent. When you're surrendered to Krishna, you're his property. Vishwanath Chakravarti writes like this: like the child that has a loving father. Knowing that he has a loving father, sometimes the loving father gives sweet milk, and sometimes the loving father gives bitter nimba juice. Sometimes the father embraces me affectionately, and sometimes he scolds me. It doesn't change my regard for my loving father as being my loving father. My life doesn't change, oh, he's being nice or he's being not nice. In nature, he's nice. My loving father is very kind. He knows what's best for me. So the bitter nimba juice or the scolding is because of his love for me. And his sweet milk and the warm embrace is because he loves me. Whatever he does with me is for my best interest because I'm under his protection. It flows from the full dedication of self. It's not a conditional one. He can do with me what he likes. Same as in Shikshastra. Just expressed in different words. He can neglect me. He can embrace me. He can trample me under his feet. He can do with me whatever he likes. Why? He's my master. I simply, one by one request, please keep me engaged in your service. Unconditionally. Next. If it is your wish that I be born again, then may I take birth in the home of your devotee. So this, I don't want and not want on the material platform, and even on the liberation side. I'm not coming to you for liberation. If you want, I'll take birth again. My request is, I want to be your devotee. Be born in the family of your devotees. So we have parents with children, it's a responsibility to at least extend the opportunity to continue the life of devotion. But this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's going to say it a little more extremely next verse. May I be born again even as a worm, as long as I remain your devotee. Born as a Brahma, on verse 3, well, there's no such thing, because Brahma is a post, and the post is occupied by the most qualified person. But it's theoretical. Even if you give me the topmost position in the universe for Brahma, but the qualifying condition is averse to you, no. I'm not interested in something high. I'm not averse to something low, materially speaking. I'm interested in having your shelter. It's unconditional. And just being a little detailed about it. Next. I yearn for the company of that devotee who is completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment and for liberation. So these are from the Upanishads. This is the qualification of Guru. They're fixed in knowledge of the scripture. Upasamashrayam, they cast to the side any material consideration, including liberation. And I hanker for that association that connects me with Krishna. Next. Krishna, you're everything. Janaka, Janani, Dayata, Tanai, Prabhu, Guru, Pati, everything. One-stop shopping. Everything. I don't need to go anywhere else. You're everything. I'm undivided in my devotion, and I'm partially devoted over here and devoted over there. This one. Yes. Bhaktivinoda says, "Oh, Kana, please hear me. Oh, Lord of Radha, you're my life and soul." It's a relationship. And in the relationship, there's someone on the other side, expressing his own heart, his feelings, his innermost feelings from the soul itself. His feelings of having taken full shelter, and he's looking for the Lord to hear him. And the songs of this Atma-Niveda, this section, are similar, just in different versions of the same mode. And then the middle two sections, just quickly, this Goptritve Varanam Prabha, Rakshishya Vishvaso, maintenance and protection. Now, Jiva Goswami covers the same subject matter that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is covering. He covers it in a scholarly way in Bhakti Sandarbha. And he 6 features of surrender. One is the Angi, and the other are Angas of the Angi. The primary element of surrender is seeing the Lord as one's maintainer, something like seeing their Father, or the living entity seeing God, or as the Upanishads say, Ekam Bhagavunam, any Nityas, there's one supreme Nitya, Nityo Nityanam. Amongst those eternals, Chaitanas, Chaitananam, there's one supreme eternal. And that one is maintaining all others. Eko Bhuna. Same as Ishopanishad, Isavashamidam Sarvam. If you're familiar. Yatkin Shacha Yatyam Jigat. The Isha is the one that's maintaining the many. And we're part of the many, and he's our maintainer. And our maintainer is also a protector. It's embedded within the song we just sang. And it's the next song that we're going to sing has this same message. The fourth principle of surrender. Avashya Rakshibe. Raksha means protection. Krishna is the protector. Vishvasa Alana. He's the protector. And indicates desire. So there are certain, we need certain needs, bodily needs. And we do service to Krishna, but it's not our work that's maintaining us. It is, even if someone is a religious person, common, universal, is a secular idea. I do my work, and that's maintaining myself and my family, and then I go and worship God. There's these two divisions of my life, the godly part and the worldly part. And people commonly ask the question, how do I balance the two? Without the idea that you're balancing the two. It's everything is for Krishna. And Krishna is your maintainer. So you work for Krishna. And to awaken that work for Krishna consciousness, you have to have proper sadhana in spiritual practices. It's not over there as, and then over here as something that are quite distinct. They're not. I spent the whole evening this past week just on this point. There's a persistent flying, it's not go away. So if you see me going like that, it's the fly. Very stoic. The animal, a part of the other morning I was chanting Japa, looking out the window, and in the back side of the window, downstairs on the ground floor, there's just above, there's a little porch, and there were two birds, a male and a female bird. And this just hit me all at once, I'm just sharing. Eating, sleeping, mating, and depending. They were singing, and then they were jumping in to get some food. They heard a noise and they flew away. So the eating and fearing or defending. Of course, at night they sleep. And then mating, they started joining together, and then the female bird flew away. That's the animal urges, the bodily urges are those. And human life is meant to do more than in a polished manner do the same thing, even in a religious manner do those same things. The Vedas teach us you regulate those things and direct them towards the ultimate purpose of life. So of the four animal propensities, one is the strongest, and that's protection. You can be engaged in any one of the other three, and when some danger comes, you stop. Fear takes over. Fearing, protecting. And not Krishna conscious, by default, it's the position of fear. Bhayam, Jyotinyam, Abhiniveshi Takshat. Nice verse. Bhaya means fear. And abhinivesh means absorption in nothing other than Krishna. And said no to Krishna, here we are. In this position where it's abhinivesh Jatiram, Krishna. And it's a fearful place. There's no shelter, there's no protection. And conversely, you take shelter, and protection is there. If maintenance is there, and protection is there. And feeling, not just notionally, like, in your mind, and then some circumstance comes and fear enters the heart. But there's no longer that fear. You may do something, but you know that the Lord is your protector. Let's see what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has to say. So this is one of the songs from the first of the songs, section. Lord is one protector. And in that state of feeling protected, sorrow, of mind. Surrendering myself and all I possess unto those lotus feet, that's an extension of the Atma Nivedana mood. I have laid myself down submissively under their shelter. Their shelter is the lotus feet of the Lord. Your lotus feet, O Lord, will certainly shelter me. There are no other protectors in this world of birth and death. Full confidence in that position of being protected. At last, I know myself to be your eternal servant. Now the burden of my maintenance is exclusively yours. Again, this angi, feeling I maintained. No. Let's go to the goal. The goal is Goloka. And when one is in Goloka, the Brajabasis in Goloka, they're with Krishna. Whether they're cowherd boys and they're with the group of cowherd boys, or they're the young gopis, or the elder gopas, or gopis, or the cows, or the peacocks, or the trees, or any living entity, they're, you can say, they're part of Krishna's group. Spiritual world, they're under Krishna's protection, and they do their services. They protect cows, and they do what they do. And they have festivals. They worship. They do what they do. They do things with their families and friends. And they have their social life. They have their occupational duty. In Goloka. And Krishna is their maintainer, Krishna is their protector. So we're not there where we are. But that consciousness, stage by stage, step by step, evolves to that consciousness as we take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, to take shelter of the holy name, take shelter of the process of taking shelter in the proper manner, hearing and following the ways of Sharanagati. In my life of independence from you, I have experienced nothing but misery, but now upon accepting those feet of yours, all my miseries have been cast far away. The misery is not the heat of Phoenix, or you have to pay your taxes at tax time, or you have to go to school, or you have to do your job. It's not that those things are taken away, but the independent, no shelter, dealing with the onslaught of the material energy, unprotected, is gone. As Krishna indicates in Bhagavad Gita, for those who have dedicated their lives to me, I preserve what they have and protect. Preserve what they have and provide what they don't have, whatever they need. And he does it personally. And that sense of being cared for Krishna, by Krishna personally, can be our experience too, even in this level of our lives. For sure. Desiring a place at your lotus feet, the goddess of fortune performed difficult austerities. Only after receiving your feet did Lord Shiva attain his Shivatva, or quality of auspiciousness. So what to speak of us? The goddess of fortune. She's the goddess of fortune. She's his internal potency. And she wishes to remain in that position, and therefore difficult austerities. We just, on Nrsimha Chaturdasi, we visited many places by images where Lord Nrsimhadev is worshipped, and of course one of them is Ahobilam, where Nrsimhadev is worshipped. And one of the 9 principal temples is a temple where the goddess of fortune, Jwala Nrsimha, she underwent austerities because she had never seen that form of the Lord. She underwent austerities for a long, long time to be accepted by him. Of course, that's just God's word, there's no question. But that was what she did, desiring that shelter. And Lord Shiva too attained his Shivatva, his quality of auspiciousness. Similarly, you see that from where everything comes from the Supreme Lord. Lord Brahma, similarly, had all of his desires fulfilled. Narada Muni, the great sage, achieved all that he achieved in person. Next. I now hold on my head those very same lotus feet which drive away all fear, while I dance in great ecstasy, singing their glories. The image here is Vibhishan taking shelter of Rama, this mode of surrender that is in South India, where the place of surrender, it fits in very, very nicely with the whole theme, where Vibhishan came, took shelter of Rama. Your lotus feet will surely deliver Bhakti Vinod from the dangerous perils of this worldly journey. So that's one of the songs in the protection section, and you've heard many of the other ones, and so final is already 4:45, taking a half hour extra, and let them in. So there's those 6 full processes of surrender are described. That's part 1, comes part 2. Then what happens? When you're in this agati, in this attaining the shelter, there's still further surrender of Sharanam. And that's the surrender in bhajan. I mentioned at the beginning, there must be a desire for sankalpa. We discussed that at length. Similarly, when you're in the position of devotion, cultivating further surrender, this bhajana lalasa is a wonderful section where hankering for in your spiritual form, in your eternal identity in relation to Krishna, further in that mode of surrender. It's completely in keeping with our sampradaya, starting with Lord Brahma. He received mantras. The first of those mantras he came to know, came to realize his position as Krishna's servant. He received another mantra. He began to understand his position in the spiritual world as an eternal maid servant of Krishna. That's this very advanced 101 and 201, very advanced stage of hankering, lalasa, for further submission, further surrender, further involvement in the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. Eternal activities and our eternal activities in relation to Him. So one of the songs we're going to sing together is this one, Ohi Vaishnava, or the appeal to the devotee of the Lord to help him go further. This is our last song for this evening.
se tomara, Krishna ji ke karo, Tumhara shakti aache. Krishna se tomara, Nadi te paro, Tumhara shakti aache. Amita Krishna Krishna Bole. Amito Ganga Krishna Krishna Bole. Hai Tava Pache Pache. Hai Tava Pache Pache. Hai Tava Pache Pache.
Short message is going further in two messages. Going further in the process of surrender, we need mercy, and mercy comes from those given the power of attorney by Krishna to give his mercy. And the second is through this medium, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is simply presenting the teachings of Rupa Goswami in song form. Not the details, but the principles that Rupa Goswami teaches in the Nectar of Instruction, or Shikshamrita, his lessons of nectarian lessons of Lord Chaitanya. O Venerable Vaishnava, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant, give me the shade of your lotus feet, and purify me, I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions. Upadesh Amrita, the Amrita, the nectar of instruction. Rupa Goswami's teachings. There's 6 that are destroy bhakti. Shadir bhaktir vinashyati. 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, offer me the 6 kinds of holy association. Directly from Rupa Goswami's writing. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. This is an important teaching. Bhaktivinoda Thakur weaves into his different sets of songs the necessity of faith to receive the pure holy name. Anyone can chant, even a person making fun of chanting can chant, and there's benefit for such a person. The full benefit of faith is required. Appeal is to bestow faith, 1 drop of faith. So the full benefit of the holy name can be achieved. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna. Next. That's it. So appeal to the Vaishnava, Venerable Vaishnava, O hey Vaishnava Thakur, to receive what Krishna is able to give. So through the agency of the representative of Krishna, we can go further and further and further on the path of bhakti. And the surrender to the intimate services that are awaiting us in the spiritual world. Krishna is more eager for us to come back to him than we are eager to go back to him. We take one step towards Krishna, he takes 100 steps towards us. The process of surrender isn't a one-sided thing. Krishna is waiting. Like this message, you'll see it again tomorrow morning. Jiva Goswami says, even you say the first syllable, Krishna, immediately Krishna is attracted. We're distracted, but Krishna is attracted. It's up to us. The ball's in our court, as they say. The opportunity for taking shelter is in our hand. And now let us exercise it. So we'll take some questions and answers, and I suggest two things. When we finish, we'll offer a silent prayer to the deity, and then also when engaging in kirtan, just like that ghost that became a liberated soul just from hearing Bhagavatam, see if in the course of your practical chanting of the holy names congregationally, Sankirtan, some of these messages go into your heart and call those messages in your heart. Application of the message helps it go deeper. So, any discussion?
Much can you just elaborate on how our progress or taste in chanting depends upon others?
How we want to hear further on our going further in the chanting is dependent upon the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Well, something that I respond to, I like to respond in this way sometimes. When we go back to the spiritual world, our goal is to be with Krishna. So when you reach Krishna Loka, A or B, it's just going to be you and Krishna. Or B, it's Krishna, and at Krishna's lotus feet are unlimited numbers of living entities lovingly serving Krishna. So, to get to that position, Krishna wants to see us cultivate being in the association of those who are dear to Krishna and taking shelter of those who are dear to Krishna, getting Krishna's mercy that way. That's Krishna's plan, so that we're qualified and eligible to reach Him. That's Krishna's plan. So we practice here, what will get us there. And scripturally speaking, it's stated again and again, to go from the conditioned state to the perfected state, we require association of saintly people, sadhu sangha. It's really the whole chapter dedicated to it in Kapila's instructions to Day-2, chapter 25. She wants to know how to go beyond my attachment for the temporary. Kapila's answer is through sadhu sangha. Through association with those who are not attached to the temporary, you can go beyond your attachment to the temporary. We know, but we don't have the strength to apply what we know. We're fortunate. There's lots of people that don't know. but because of association of Prabhupada's books and so forth, we have at least basic knowledge. Some not again we have, but we're weak and we don't apply. So this sadhu sangha makes it very clear what it is and how to apply it, and strength beyond our own strength through their strength. It's Krishna's system. He set it up that way. To get to where you want to go, that sadhu sangha, those that are dear to Krishna must become dear to you before you can become dear to Krishna. That's it. And one finds when that sadhu sangha is there in one's life, one becomes lifted. It's wonderful. It's very natural. And it's not optional. Lord Chaitanya says it. There's so many places, but in Chaitanya Charitamrita there's a long section of Lord Chaitanya's instruction to Sanatana Goswami. He describes all the varieties of living entities, and out of them some are human, and out of the human some become regulated, and out of those that regulate some become devotees. And to go to that state requires association of devotees in many verses. Then he says, Lord Chaitanya says, even in the perfectional stage, that sadhu sangha is required. But it's not just for weak people. You need association of strong people, so you can become weak and then you don't need them anymore. That's impersonal. We're not impersonalists. It's a natural, personal, devotional process. It's just, that's the internal potency and how it works. So the association, so those also connected. Okay. Yes, we're ready for your time. Yes, you have something. Do you have a portable microphone?
So all of these wonderful messages, so that I don't take any of them lightly tomorrow and be really stick to it and pay full attention.
That's up to you. How do I be sure this commitment and Krishna's mercy? Those two. Krishna's ready. Are you? Matakshmatir Jnana Mahohanam Japa. Krishna is the source, sitting within the heart. He's the source of smitir, and he's the source of moha. Krishna will help us. And if you're in the midst of chanting tomorrow and you feel like you're drowning, or you feel like you're out in the desert, dry, you're feeling lost, then call out. And Krishna, if he so desires, will provide you memories. You take shelter there. But one of the teachings that we heard from this Purana is you tonight before you take rest, you go home and you review in your mind, in your heart. We'll shortly do that as soon as we finish this question and answer session. Offer prayers to Krishna from those things that struck your heart so that it goes more deeply. Like that. Just let it go in. Then we're dependent. We're dependent on Krishna. Okay. So what's on the schedule now? Schedule. Okay, we're missing two. There's one of the two. Okay, so kirtan till 7:15. Kirtan till 8. Go ahead, begin.
We wanted to make two requests from the devotees
Okay, go ahead.
to come closer. That's the first request. And second request is if we could limit the karta saying only for the one of the people. For the beginning, which the kirtan is a one song. That will keep our mood and the speed of the kirtan and people do it. It's louder.
Meditative at the beginning.